Let's take you now to South Africa, where Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Mene, says it will take time for Africa as a continent to adopt a single currency regime. The diplomat overseeing one of the world's largest free trade areas says the disparities in the economic conditions in many countries across the continent are posing significant challenges to the vision of the African Union to go into a full economic union. Now, the cost of currency convertibility is estimated at $5 million a year, with experts calling for intra-Africa solution to plug the flight of capital out of the region. In an exclusive interview with JoyNews' Blaise Soga at the After Business Forum in Cape Town, Mr. Mene indicated that the newly introduced Pan-African payments and settlement system will be a stopgap measure.
42 currencies on our continent. The cost of currency convertibility is $5 billion a year. We have to do something about that. That's why working with Afreximbank, we have established the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System, so that if you are in Accra, your counterparty is in Nairobi, you don't have to buy the dollar or any other third currency to transact with your counterparty or to pay for the goods that you are exporting, that you are importing. So payments has proven to be a significant constraint to boosting intra-Africa trade because of the cost. That is why the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System is an interim solution. I'm saying interim in the absence of a common currency, which one day I know the African continent will have. You are now going to be able, through the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System, you are now going to be able to trade with your local, your counterparty using local currency. You are on the digital platform. You transact in Ghanaian cedi. Your counterparty in Kenya receives the cedi, the transaction amount in Kenyan shillings. So we are eliminating the need for a correspondent bank in another part of the world to be the middleman.
But don't you concede that if we had a single currency, that would have addressed the challenge? You were speaking about that on Sunday, pointing out some of the challenges and how difficult it will be at this time to implement a single currency regime. What's that big hindrance in the way of many of the member states participating in this free trade area?
There is already a decision. Going as far back as the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, there's a very clear decision that Africa must have a common currency. However, getting there is difficult because you have to have macroeconomic convergence. We know from the experience of Europe, Greece, Portugal, when they were experiencing sovereign debt crisis, when they were not able to exercise monetary policy because it is centralized. So you have to get to that point where everybody, all countries in Africa, are on the same macroeconomic policy stance, convergence criteria on, for example, on GDP to debt ratio, on government deficit to GDP ratio. Those things have to be completely aligned. And if they are not, it's impossible to have a common currency. So that's the work that has to be done.
Conversation with Mene, Secretary General of the AFTA, will air on Foreign Affairs here on JoyNews. Be on the lookout for that. Let's head back to Ghana and talk about